So last session we have seen how to use if, else statement, and now we'll see one more example on the same where we can implement a switch statement in Python. Actually, we don't have switch statement in Python, but we can do the same job with the help of if, else statement. Okay, let's see a small example in which we are accepting two numbers from user, and we are going to ask for the choice like 1, 2, 3, 4. If 1 means we need to do addition, 2 means subtraction, 3 means multiplication, and 4 for division. If user enters other than 1, 2, 3, 4 like 5 or any other number, then we have to say invalid choice. How to do that? So let's get started. Let's go to PyCharm, create a new project now, new file, new Python file, and we'll say so demo is the last number. Let's say 50. 50 switch implementation. So what I'm doing here, simple calculate with the L. So what are we doing here? We are asking for two numbers from user first by saying a equal to input of enter a value or enter first number. Your way. Okay, after reading a value, you have print b value now. Asking for b value, enter b value. So both are ready. After reading two values, first of all, we are showing the available choices to the user by saying print 1 for addition, you can give slash in here for new line, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, and 4 slash in 4 for division. Okay. After printing the available choices, we'll take choice from user into ch variable. Ch is equal to integer of input of enter your choice. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, what you want to perform. So we are asking the user. User will enter something that is ready in a ch variable. Now we need to check the choices. If ch equal to 1, 1 means we need to do addition. Now we are writing here print sum is, then what I'm saying, comma a plus b value I wanted to print here. Okay, and then elif choice equal to 2, then what you want to do? I want to do subtraction. Print difference is, and then comma a minus b value we need to give, and then same thing we need to continue up to how many choices we have? Elif 2, 3. Okay, yeah, 4. Up to 4 we are continuing same thing. 3 and 3 means what to do? Product we need to do. Multiplication means product. So here I am writing as product value nothing but SRP, and 4 for division. So division means A slash B. Here I am saying quotient is. So if user enters something like other than 1, 2, 3, 4 like 0 or something, 0 or 9 or whatever number, then we need to say invalid choice. Since we don't have switch case, we are implementing the same job with the elif. But here we need not write any break statement. In switch case, we was writing, break. Here we don't need to write any break. Okay. Yeah. So this point we need to remember. So what are lacking compared with C language, C++, Java with Python if you compare. So we don't have switch case as well as do while loop. Both are not available in Python. So this point we need to remember. Okay, let's try to execute it and see what is happening. Is it exactly coming as expected or not? Let us see. Right click. We'll try to run it and run demo 50. And see now it's asking for a value first. I said 10. Press enter. Asking for b value. I said 20. See, choice is available. 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication and division. I said 1 as choice. So 1. See the output now. Sum is 30. Again, I'm executing. Right click run. This time we'll give 5 and 2 I'm giving, and then subtraction I gave 2 as choice, 5 minus 2 3, working fine. Now I'm giving multiplication and finally division. So multiplication 10 and 30 I said 3 as choice, we got product 300. Finally we'll give 10 and 2, and we said 4, division 5.0. Okay, yeah, so it is doing float division. Finally, let's give one more time choice which is not there in the list. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 available, but I'm giving something like 9. See what it is saying? Invalid choice. So it is working exactly like a switch case. So in this way we can implement. And what you need to try as a task is do the same example. Once it is finished, you need to update this or modify this example as with operators you need to do. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 choices, you need to ask the user for operator sign, plus, minus, star, slash, like that. So if I give plus as choice, you need to do sum. Minus means you need to do subtraction. Star means product. Slash means division. Like that you need to do. If I give dollar means you have to say invalid choice. So that is your task you need to try. Okay? Yeah. So I'll copy it later to the notes. All the programs I'll save it in a file. Let's go to another example. Hope you understand switch case now. Any doubts in this, ma? So we have taken two numbers from user, then we have displayed the available choices. Finally, we asked for the choice from user. User enters something between 1 to 4. User enters between 1 to 4, will do the respective operation. If user enters something other than 1 to 3, 4 means it will come to else part and print the message as invalid. Yes, ma. Yeah, if you want to do with operators, yes. You need not use integer. Okay, you do it. That is why your task now. You try it out. If you don't get it, let me know. Okay. Yeah. Now we are moving to loop control statements. Let's switch to next category. Loop control statements. So there are two loop control statements available in Python. The number one is while and number two is for. So what is while actually? Use it to execute a group of statements several times repeatedly, depending upon the condition is true or false. So first it will check the condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the statements. Then it will do the next increment or decrement depends upon the statements you are writing. If that is okay, again it will go and check the condition. So it keep on iterating here itself. So initialization means only once it will be done. Condition, it will come and check for the first time, and colon is compulsory. For if, for elif, for all, we have to write this colon. Syntax we need to follow. So condition checking, executing statements. Again, it will go to the top, checking condition. So initialization will be done only once, but this condition checking and executing keep on doing until the condition is true. Whenever it is false, it will be stopped. Okay. So while the condition is true, keep on executing. So that is said to be the behavior of while loop. So if you want to perform any group of statements execution several times, then only we go for while loop. For example, we have done a program for checking a student is pass or fail. For how many times? Only one time. One student is there. No, boss, in my class I have so many students, 60 students, 80 students. So what to do? Then we have to go for a while loop or for loop, any looping control set. Okay. So let us see the example now. Here you can see. Uh, yeah, we'll start with example first with the while loop. Then we'll go to while else. We can also use while and else as a combination. Let me start with the syntax first. How to use this while loop. So let's look at the syntax first. As I said, you first initialization. So what is initialization? Starting value. Then while. So after that, we need to write the condition. If the condition is true, then we'll write some statements here. You can write a number of statements here. So since it is loop now, we have to maintain proper indentation. So the indent tab space or something we need to give, and then we'll write some statements. All the statements will be executed. At the end, we'll be writing either increment or decrement or any other statement. Any other statement. It's your wish. Finally, you may write something called else part here and then write statements. This is the syntax of while loop in Python. Okay. So the extra thing which is added to while loop in Python is else. This else part will be there only for if condition in C, C++, Java, but whereas in Python, it is there for while loop and for loop. Excuse me. Okay. But how to use this else part with while I'll tell you later. First, let's start without else block. Then we'll go for else later. Okay. Yeah. So first initialization will be done. Then we are writing while condition. If that is true, executing all the statements, increment or decrement, and it will go back to the top. Again, keep on continuing. Once all the execution of this while loop is over, it will come to else part and execute the statements. Okay. So right now I'm not writing with else. We are writing only up to this part. Later on, we'll add this else and I'll show you difference between two. So let's continue now. We'll go to PyCharm. We'll create a new program that is demo 51 underscore while one I said. So here I wanted to print 1 to 20 numbers. To print 1 to 20 numbers using while. So let us start now. A equal to 1, initialization part is done. Then while a less than or equal to 20, colon. As per the syntax, I'm writing it. Then I need to print a value. After that, what to do? A plus is equal to 1. Remember, in C, C++, Java, people are using like A plus A like that. Here we don't have plus plus operator in Python, so you have to use A plus equal to 1 or A equal to A plus 1. Both are okay. This is also fine. A equal to A plus 1. Okay. Else part I'm not writing right now. Let's run it and check it out. Right click, run 51 while 1. See the output now in the bottom? We have 1 to 20. Number C 1 to 20. But I want to print them horizontally so that I can see, a single line. So what to do? Comma, end is equal to comma. So I want to print horizontally. Now you can see all will be in a single line. Got it? So like this, we can do small example on while. But if you forgot to give like this, indentation, definitely error will come. So make sure that there should be proper indentation inside while loop. Then only these statements belongs to while loop. Okay? Yeah. Any doubts in this, ma? Yeah. Let's print reverse now. 20 to 1 numbers. Okay? So how to print 20 to 1 numbers? Let us see. Demo 52 underscore while. All small examples to print 20 to 1 numbers using while. Okay. So what I'm saying, a equal to 20 because I need to start from 20, while a greater than or equal to 1. So this logic we need to write a greater than or equal to 1. So I need to print a value and is equal to comma and then a minus equal to 1 or a equal to a minus 1. Now let's run it and check it out. Right click and see. See, we have 20 to 1 numbers. Okay. In this way, we need to do this examples. Now we'll go for printing even numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8 up to 20. I need to print. So what to do? Let's create a new file. 53 underscore while 3 to print even numbers between 1 to 20. So we know that even numbers between 1 to 20 means starts from 2. So I'm starting a value with 2. So while a is less than or equal to 20. So what should I say now? Print a value, comma, end is equal to And then what should I say? A plus is equal to 2. Previously, I was increasing only 1, but now I want to increase 2 by 2. So first 2 less than equal to 2. Yes, 20. 2 is printed. 2 plus 2, 4. Again, 4 less than equal to 20. 4 is printed. 4 plus 2, 6. 6 less than equal to 20. Keep on printing. So in this way, we can print even numbers between 1 to 20. Got it? Huh? Yeah. So what you need to do as a task, let me type it here. Uh, Task number 6, huh? 5 completed, na? Last session. Yeah, you can send me, ma. You can send me. My mail ID is there, na? You can send me. I've checked. Somebody sent it last. Yeah, send it to my mail ID, ma. You can send it to my mail ID. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So task 6 now. What are we doing? Just now we have done 1 to 20 even numbers, na? So you need to print reverse 20 to 2 even numbers, 20, 18 like that. Okay. So here I'm giving task 6 to print 20 to 1 even numbers. 1 means, of course, we need to print up to 2 only. Next, what I gave you, switch case example. Let us make it as 7. Switch case example. Switch case or simple calculator, calci with plus, minus, star and slash. This you need to do. Same previous example. Okay. Seventh one is this 22 one. Even numbers. Let me save it on desktop or our folder is there. I will save it. We try. Yeah. So now what are we doing? We are moving to odd numbers. Can you tell me anybody how to print 1 to 20 odd numbers using same code? Just a small change you need to do. Any other? No, I need to print like this. 1, 3, 5 like that. Yeah, that's all. So if you say equal to 1, it's enough. Equal to 1, 1 less than equal to 20, 1 printed, 1 plus 2 means 3. 3 plus 2, 5. Like that it goes. Okay? Yeah. So that's done. Okay, you can do it. Now let's go for 1 to n numbers. How to print 1 to n? N means n we should take from user. If user enters 100 means I need to print 1 to 100 numbers. 1000 means 1 to 1000 numbers. Like that n is given by user. I need to print 1 to n numbers. So how to do that? Let's see that now. Demo 54 underscore while 4. So what is this example? To print 1 to n numbers. Yeah. So n numbers means n we need to take first from user. So integer of input of enter n value or enter a number, whatever message you want, you can say. Then what should I say? I need to start from 1 to n. So I'm taking something called I is equal to 1. I or a was variable name can be anything. While I is less than or equal to n, what to do? Print I value first. End is equal to comma because I want to print comma side by side, horizontally. Then what should I say? I equal to I plus 1 or I plus equal to 1. That's all. So n value is given by user. If n value is 100 means 1 to 100 numbers. 11 means 1 to 11 numbers. 1000 means 1 to 1000 numbers. Let's try and check it out. Enter n value. I said something like 11. We got 1 to 11 numbers. Now again I'm executing. This time I'm giving n value as something like 25. See here, you can find 25 numbers. 100 means 100. So keep on printing up to n. So like this we can try uh, our own examples using while loop. Okay. Yeah. What you need to do? You need to reverse n to 1 numbers you need to try as a task. 8 to print n to 1 numbers. Serial numbers. The numbers means serial numbers. And you can also try for like 1 to n even numbers. Task number 9. 1 to n even numbers. Even numbers. And n to 1 odd numbers. But here you need to do a small validation now. When you are printing 1 to n even numbers means what? You need to print like this 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay? Like that, if n value is 100, you need to print up to 100. This is okay. Coming to odd numbers, n to 1 odd numbers, suppose if n value is 20, you need to print 19 onwards. N value is 21 means you are printing 21 like that. 21, 19, this is good. 17 up to 1. But even if n value is 20, even number, you need to start from 19, not from 20. Got my point, huh? So whether the input is even number or odd number, I should get only odd numbers as the result. I mean, I need to start from the next odd number. Suppose 21. Anyhow, 21 itself odd number. So 21 onwards we are continuing. But I gave n values 20. But I need to start from 19 because 20 is even number. So I shouldn't print this. So like this, you need to do the small validation. Okay. So that you need to check. Yeah. Is it clear, guys? Yes, exactly. Yeah, input from user. Okay. For both, you need to take n. Wherever you find n, you need to take input. Last three tasks, we need to ask n value from user. Okay. Yeah. So now let's try to print the table. So what is meant by table? I need to print like this. My output is 5 into fifth table I need to print. To print fifth table. How to print fifth table? 5 into 1 is equal to 5. 5 into 2 is equal to 10. Like that I need to print up to 100. I mean up to 20. Like that 5 into 20 is equal to 100. So it's very simple actually. How to print it? What is common in this output we need to analyze first. 5 and x are common. So in the print statement write 5x directly within double quotes. And is equal to is also common and keep it in double quotes. And what is this 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 20? Take a value or I value. I value 1, I less than equal to 20, I plus equal to 1. So 1 to 20 numbers will come. What about this one? I into 5 values. Suppose if I value is 1, 1 pies are 5. If I value is 2 means 2 pies are 10. So into I value 5 into I, nothing but. Okay, 5 into I means 1 means 5, 2 means 10. Like that, keep on running. Let me show you this program. This program looks big, but when you write it, it's very small. Let's go to Python and we'll see how to print this table. Of course, easy to write in range, but yeah, we'll convert later when we go to for loop range. There you can do it. Okay, again, so that we'll see the difference between two. Okay, yeah, demo 55 underscore while 5. So what I'm doing here to print fifth table. So what I'm doing here, a or I was variable name can be anything. I value 1 while I less than or equal to 20 because we need 20 terms. Okay, yeah. So what should I say? I need to print double quotes, whatever you want. I want 5 as it is, x as it is. Give it. Comma. Beside that, I want I value. Nothing but 1. First, initially, I value is 1. So you'll get 5 into 1. Beside that, I want to print is equal to. And then beside that, I want to print I into 5 value. That's all. And just you need to increase. So I plus equal to 1. Just this program is to print 1 to 20 numbers only. What is extra thing? Instead of printing I value, I added 5 into x, 5 and x is equal to, I added extra, I into 5. That's all. So I equal to 1, I less than 20, I plus 1. I plus equal to 1 means 1 to 20 times it is iterating. So at the time of iterating 1 to 20 times, what I'm doing, 5x I'm printing as common, 5x will be printed. Beside that, I value. I value is nothing but 1 to 20 numbers is equal to will be printed. Beside that, what? 1 into 5. Next time I becomes 2. 2 into 5, 10. Next time 3. 3 into 5, 15. So keep on printing. And at the end, we need to print in a new line. I mean, same line. Same line means we need not give it. If you want to print the same line means, I mean, with comma means you can go for it. Let's run it and check it. We need not do anything. See the output now? Fifth table is ready. 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10, 5 threes are 15, up to 20. If you want only 12 terms means you make it as 12. Subtree. Table is ready. Up to 12. And what you need to try is, you need to try for nth table. So n value we need to ask the user. If user enter 9, we have to print ninth table. 7 means 7th table. Okay. Like that we need to try for nth table program using the same code. Just look at this code and try to modify. So above this we need to ask for n value and then replace with 5 with n and check it out. You do it on your own. If you are not able to do, I'll help you. Okay. So to print nth table. So task number 11. Nth table. Fifth table is already done. Okay, you need not do it. Yeah, clear now. And now let's go to something like uh, do it n. If you keep inside double quotes, you'll get message. N will be printed. That is why we should keep outside the double quotes so that value will come. Okay. Yeah. Be careful while writing. That's what I'm saying. If you try, you'll get errors. You need to fix it. Slowly we'll habituate to coding. Okay. Yeah. So now we'll go to something called working with logical programming, like most of the exams and all competitive exams, campus interviews, they're asking some programs like reverse a number. I'll show you some programs, out of which let me show you some of them. You try the remaining. Okay. Like we are taking a number, and we need to print the sum of digits from the given number. Suppose if I give 1 2 3, you need to print 1 plus 2 plus 3 as 6. Okay, reverse number program. And sum of digits, reverse number 1 to 3 means I need to print 3 to 1. Like that we can do all logical programs using while loop. Demo 56 I'm taking. While let us take reverse number first, then we'll see sum of digits, like that. But for all these programs, the logic is only one, that is dividing the number with 10. And we keep on taking reminder and we store the reminder in a variable, or we print it simply. Okay. To print reverse number, how to print reverse number? These are common logics actually. See, people will do this same thing I'm showing you. For practice, you can do this. That is the reason I'm showing all these things. So what I'm taking first, let us ask the user for n value, integer of input of enter a number. Now what to do? We need to print the reverse number actually. So for that, what I'm doing is while n greater than 0 or n not equal to 0 also I can write it. So what should I do? First r equal to n mod 10. Reminder I'm calculating. And I'm printing that reminder. Print r. End is equal to, I need to print in the same place now so that I'm giving space or empty. Okay. And next, what should I say? N equal to n by 10. So why I'm giving double slash? Because I don't want decimal places. That is the reason double slash. If you give slash means you'll get decimal places. Okay. So this point we need to remember. Yeah. So now let's run it and check it out whether it is printing reverse number or not. And here you can print a message saying that reverse number. Because message we need to print now. 1 to 3 means reverse number is 3 to 1. Like that I need to print. That is the reason I'm doing like this. So first I've taken number 1, 2, 3 greater than 0. Yes. R equal to n mod 10. 10 tolls are 120. Remainder is 3. I'm printing that 3. And then what I'm saying, n equal to n by 10. So what will be double slash 10 means you'll get integer division. So quotient 12 will become n. Now 12 greater than 0. Yes, again we are going. Okay, 12, 10 mods, 10 ones are 10, remainder 2. 2 will be printed. So like that, we are printing 3, 2, 1 like that. Let's run it and check it out. How it is working. Right click and run. See number 1, 2, 3 I'm giving. See the output. Reverse number is 3, 2, 1. Got it? Huh? So like this, we can reverse a number. Now, yeah, this is actually, yeah, R equal to mod 10 means, let's go to our notepad. Yeah. So what I've written here, so while n greater than 0, then R equal to n mod 10 means reminder we are calculating. Then we are printing this R value. R value we are printing. N equal to n by 10. So let's take now 1, 2, 3. This is n value. Okay. Now, so here I am taking R value and here I am printing output OP output. So 123 first iteration 123 greater than 0. Yes. R equal to n mod 10. So what is the remainder if I divide the number with 123 with 10? 10 tolls are 120. Remainder is 2. So printing this 2 on the screen. Oh sorry, 3 na remainder. 10 tolls are 120, remainder 3. So we are printing this 3 on the screen. 3 is printed. Next what I'm saying, n equal to n by 10. What is n value? 123. 123 divided by 10. So this time quotient. Previously remainder, but now this time quotient. 12. So we are taking 12 and we are checking. Again we will go to the top. 12 greater than 0? Yes. Again R equal to n mod 10. So 10 here n value 12. Again 10 ones are 10. Remainder is how much? 2. So we are printing this 2 on the screen. Next. Again quotient n equal to n by 10. 12 by 10. Quotient is 1. So n value is what? 1 now. Again it will go to the top. 1 greater than 0? Yes. It will come here. Again R equal to n mod 10. 1 divided by 10. 10 zeros are 0, remainder 1. So again 1 I printed on the screen. N equal to n by 10. 0. 0 greater than 0? No. It will come out. So what is the output? 3 to 1 is already printed. Like this we keep on iterating with the dividing a number with the 10. We keep on printing reminders. Okay. So this logic is useful for many examples. Like if you want to print sum of digits, suppose if I give 123, 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6 I wanted to print. Then what we do? Same program, just here we take a variable called sum, which is initialized with 0, sum equal to sum plus r. Here we'll write sum plus is equal to r. That's all. Outside the while loop, print it. Then you will be getting sum of digits. Okay, so simple programs. This logic is meant for many other logics. So that is why you need to by heart this logic up to this try we need to understand n greater than 0 or n not equal to 0. So this logic we need to understand. Go for the next example. This is what reverse number. Now let's do the sum of digits. Python 5 and demo 57. Is it clear, ma? Yeah. Just write on the paper my n value, r value, some value like that. Check it out. If you don't understand, let me know so that next time I'll try to explain on the board and I'll post a video on all these examples later one by one. Okay. Yeah. Sum of digits. Yeah. Sum of digits means what to do. Same logic again. Just copy paste this code. So what are we doing? Just we'll take this extra variable to print sum of digits. Sum of digits. Take a variable here, sum equal to 0. and just remove this line and say sum plus is equal to R. That's all. Every reminder, every digit is getting added to sum. Finally, print the sum of digits, comma, sum. So same program, previous program only, just I changed this line. Added a sum equal to 0. Okay, this is also not required. Let me check. Right click, run. Let's say 1, 2, 3. See what is the output? Sum of digits 6. Input is 1, 2, 3. Oh, reverse number, remove it. Sorry. And let's remove it and check it out. Sum. Let's see now. I said 1, 2, 4. It's giving error. So that is the reason. We have some built-in function now. Yeah, yeah. Take a variable sum is equal to 0. Now run it. It's perfect. So now let's write 1 to 4. So 7. 1 plus 2 plus 4, 7. Like this, we can do sum of it. So this logic called n greater than 0, r equal to n mod 10, n equal to n double slash 10. By using this model, this logic, we can do many examples. You try these examples, I'm giving here as tasks. Whichever you are able to do it. Remaining, let me know. Okay. I'll give you the examples now, like task you need to try. Sum of digits is printed now, and reverse number is also done. Next one is I can try like to check the given number is palindrome or not. Palindrome is what? Example, if I give 1 to 1, you have to say palindrome. Yeah, reverse of number is, even if you reverse, same number is coming means palindrome. Yeah. Suppose if I give 1 to 3, you have to say not a palindrome. This is what you need to try. Okay. Next one, 13. To check the given number is prime number or not. Prime number logic na? A number which is divisible by 1 and itself is said to be prime number. So you need to try that. I think this is well-known logic for many people. Prime number or not. Okay. What else? There is something called Armstrong number. This is also a logic like yeah. No, 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 no. That is wrong logic actually. People will feel like that. Let me tell you. First, you need to try this. Yeah. Let me tell you logic for this Armstrong number or not. Yeah. Before this, I strongly recommend you to do this. That is to print the number of digits in the given number. Suppose if I give 1, 3, how many digits are there? 3 digits. So that you do first. To print number of digits in the given number. That is also can be done with previous logic, which I told you, reverse number, sum of digits, I told you, same logic. Just you need to take a count variable on the top. In the middle, you need to say count plus equal to 1 and print that count value. That count is nothing but number of digits. That's all. Okay. So by using this number of digits or count of digits, you can do this Armstrong. What is Armstrong actually? Why people will say sum of cubes equal to Armstrong number? Because 153 they are taking as example. How many digits we have in 153? 3 digits. That is why 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. That is correct. Okay. 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. This is fine for this 3-digit number. Suppose if I give 25 or 24, what should I say? 2 square plus, hope you got it, huh? 4 square is equal to 24 means, then that is called as Armstrong number. Got my point, huh? Logic? Here, sum of cubes. Why we are calculating sum of cubes? Because this number is having 3 digits. But what about this 24? We have only 2 digits. So that we need to calculate 2 square plus 4 square. Equal to 24 means Armstrong number. Knows that 2 square is 2, 4 square means 16. Okay. 16 plus 4, 20. Okay. It's not equal to 24. So it's not an Armstrong number. Simple. Same way, if I give 1, 2, 3, 4, tell me what to do. Hope you got it, huh? Logic. Hello. 1 to the power of, yeah, 1 power 4 plus 2 power 4 plus 3 power 4 plus 4. If you add all of them, if the sum is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, then only it's an Armstrong number. See, so many people are doing like this. Even, some of the institutes, uploaded videos also, 153 is Armstrong number. Sum of digits, sum of cubes only we need to do. It's very, very wrong logic. Please check it out in any textbook or Google. You'll get it. Whatever I told you will explain you. Okay? Yeah, this is what Armstrong number. Next one, you can try for others also. I'll give you a clue for all these things. I mean, like you can print factorial. I'm giving more examples today for practice to print factorial of the given number. Factorial, yeah. Uh, Let me show you Fibonacci series was, which is very important and very easy in Python. Okay. So how much easy in Python? Let me show you. With the very less lines of code, we can finish this Fibonacci series in Python. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. So what is Fibonacci series? First of all, so a value, I mean, we need to print like this, 0, 1, 1, like this we need to go. What is this 0, 1? So 0 is a value. So we are talking about Fibonacci series now. Fibonacci series. How to print it? First, we need to take a and b or any other variable x, y, whatever. A value 0, b value 1. What is c? A plus b value. 0 plus 1, how much? 1. Then now, this will become a and this will become b. Then 1 plus 1, 2. Then this will become a, this will become b. 1 plus 2, 3. Again 2 plus 3, 5. 3 plus 5, 8. Like that it continues. Hope you got it now? So like this, I need to print a Fibonacci series. This is also one of the important questions in most of the interviews in campus rounds and all. But writing this is easier in Python compared with those languages. Okay, so let's get started. How to do this Fibonacci series? It's not a task. I'll do it now. Let's go to the next example. Python file demo 58 underscore Fibo. I said Fibo series. Okay, so to print Fibonacci series up to n value, how much is saying, up to that we need to print. So what to do? N is equal to integer of input of enter n value, or enter how many numbers you wanted to print. So after that, we are taking two variables, a b na, a value 0, b value 1. I'm writing in a single line, a b equal to 0 comma 1, easy for us. Then I equal to 1. I need to print 1 to n na, I less than or equal to n. Okay, so what should I say now? First, we need to print a value, a comma end is equal to, and what I'm saying, I need to print comma over there. So 1 comma 2 comma like that I want to print, or new line means you can print new line. It's up to you. And then c equal to a plus b. Okay. And then I'm writing a value we need to pass to, I mean b value we need to pass to a, and c value we need to pass to b. For that, what I'm saying is a comma b is equal to b comma c. That's all. Got it? Huh? First c is equal to a plus b. So 0 plus 1, 1. And then a value, b value I'm passing to a, and c value I'm passing to b. Just like swapping, we have done the same model. So there I said a comma b is equal to b comma a. But here we want in different way. So that is the reason. In b value I'm passing to a, and c value I'm passing to b. C is nothing but sum of a b. Okay. So b means previous number. So that I want to copy to a. Like this we need to do. Okay. And then I need to go to next iteration now. I plus equal to 1. This is for repeating loop. Let's run it and check it out. And even if you want to make this short also, you can write a comma b comma c is equal to b comma c comma a plus b. In one line you can finish. Let me run it normally, then we'll modify so that you can remember it more easily. N value, I said we want numbers up to 10. You know, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. You know, first 0, 1 printed, 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, and so on. Got it? So I want to make it more shorter, means what to do? You can write like this. Let me delete this. C is equal to A plus B. Here I am writing. A comma B comma C is equal to A plus B. Okay? Let's run it. Take it out and value 10. Oops. Okay. C is missing, huh? Okay. Before this C is not defined, that is why it's not accepted. Yeah. Leave it as. You can make it short. I is equal to 1. This is okay. Yeah. 10 now. You can see numbers. If you want to print vertical image, just remove this and is equal to comma. So that it will print one by one. So let me show you that as well. Remove it and run it. You'll get vertical. So n value I set 10. See now 0, 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, and so on. Got it? Huh? So like this, number of n iterations, how many you want, you can give it. This is said to be Fibonacci series, which is most widely asked questions in interviews. But we can make it easier compare with the C, C++ Java. You check C, C++ Java code in Fibonacci series, definitely bigger than this. Okay? Yeah. Of course, we can do it in for loop also, no problem. So now we are switching to something called else. How to use else in while loop. Let's see the syntax first. While else. So what is this? A value 1, while a less than equal to 5, print a and then a plus equal to 1. 1 to 5 numbers I'm printing. If all iterations are successfully executed, then else will be printed. So, 1 to 5 numbers followed by hello. Because here a value 1, 1 less than 5. 1 is printed, 1 plus 1, 2. 2 less than equal to 5, yes. 3, 4, 5 less than equal to 5, yes. So all the iterations are printed means else will be printed hello. Okay, but here you can see another example. A value 1, a less than equal to 5. Inside that, I wrote something called break statement with a condition. If a equal to 3, break. Okay, so 1, a value 1, 1 less than 5. Yes, it will come here. A value 1 is printed, a plus equal to 1, 2. 2 less than equal to 5, 2 will be printed. 3 less than equal to 5. Yes, 3 equal to 3, break, stop. If the loop is stopped, then else will not be printed. Got it? So while else when you write, if while loop is successfully completed its all iterations, then only else part will be printed. Due to any problem, it may be break statement or exit or any other problem, if program is stopped in the middle, then else won't be printed. So what is the need for it, boss? Can I skip it means? At present, we can use else part normally, but in future, when we go to something called, searching for an element in array, in that case, else will be more efficient. Okay, and else will be used along with while as well as for loop as well. Okay, yeah. So let me tell you small program on while loop, while with else, and then with break also we'll see. Yeah, demo 59 underscore while else one, while with else suit. Okay, so what I'm saying here, a equal to 1, while a less than or equal to 5, print value, the value is printed. Then what I'm saying, a plus equal to 1, here I said else, colon, print, hello, some message. Let's run it now. See the output, 1 to 5 numbers printed followed by hello. Because 1 to 5 numbers successfully, all the iterations are successfully done. That is why hello is printed. Okay, this is the first example, normal way. What about outside anything? If I give something like this, print end of while loop or end of program, I said something like this. End of program. Let's run it. So what is the output now? 1 to 5 numbers. Hello is printed, followed by end of program. So what is fun, sir? I can write outside of while loop now. Normally end of program is coming anyhow. Then what is need for writing this else hello means? Now I'll show you in another example. Okay, this is while with else block. But it's a normal like hello is printing, end of program is printing. So I'm not finding any difference between else and outside the while loop. For that, let us modify the same. Copy this. Let's use break statement now so that you will understand the difference between it. Demo 60 underscore while else 2. Paste it, same program with the break statement. So what I'm writing here, if I equal to 3, then break. Oh, sorry, A na? Yeah, A equal to 3, break it. Now let us see this. Let's comment this line or let's cut it and we'll run it first. See now, what is the output? Where is hello? Only 1, 2 numbers printed. 3, whenever it becomes 3, it was stopped. So when there is a stop or when there is an execution problem with a while, it was abruptly stopped or wantonly stopped in the middle, then else part will not be printed. Only after successful completion of while execution, while loop, then only else will be printed. So how do you know that while is successfully executed? If else part is printed means successfully executed. While there is a problem or I stopped in the middle of execution means then else won't be printed. But if you write something outside this, irrespective of the while status, this will be printed. So that is the difference between writing messages inside else part and outside else part. Now let's execute. See the output. 1 to end of the program. So end of the program will come in all the cases, whether the irrespective of the while loop execution, whether while is successfully completed all its iterations or stopped in the middle. This end of program line number 10 will be executed. But this hello will be executed only when the successful execution of all iterations of while loop. So this is the difference between while else and without writing outside a while loop. So this is the difference, guys. Any doubts, ma? In while else? Because while else is a new one in Python. So we don't have while else in C, C++, Java. Okay, but real time, where do we implement it? I'll show you when we go to searching for an element in array. When we go to arrays or you know, I'll tell you how to search for an element. There we use this else part. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start with for loop. Okay, for range how to use, and we'll see some other examples on the same. Okay, so please practice all these programs, ma. If you have any doubts, please send me text or mail so that